Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host, Lorraine Rise, a career and executive coach dedicated to helping clients who are 40 plus to break free from feeling stuck and transform into the unstoppable force you're destined to become. Let's start the uprising. Hey there, welcome to Career Uprising. This is episode 199, 2026 Job Market. How are you guys doing? Wow, we're getting dangerously close to 200 episodes here. Welcome back. Today, as of this recording, the shutdown is officially over. Hallelujah. I was getting pretty sick of that, and I'm sure that you were too. So I'm your host, Lorraine Rise, been your host for the last 7 years of this show. And we're going to have a short, quick message here just to try to talk a little bit about the future and what's ahead. And we're going to definitely be doing that in the next episode after this as well, my future in particular. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about this horrible year we had in the 2025 and 2024 job market, because it was one of the worst that I have seen in my 10 years of helping job seekers. In fact, these last 2 years have been the worst. The pandemic were the best in a weird way, that we were booming then. Everyone was changing jobs. But the last 2 years, there's been a lot of job hugging, as people are calling it. That's kind of the trend that has been holding on and hugging the job that you have because you don't have a lot of faith that you can get a new one, right? That's where we have been. And so today, let's just talk high level, because I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot tell you exactly what's going to happen in 2026, but we'll unpack a little bit of what some articles and economics are saying, trends that we're seeing, just to help you stay ahead. And this is the end of the year when this is coming out. It's going to be December, recording this well ahead of time. So we're definitely at the cusp of the new year at this point and looking ahead to the future. But let's take a quick snapshot of where we are right now in this present moment. So the U.S. unemployment rate has stayed fairly steady around 4%, which is considered pretty healthy by historical standards. But of course, the story is always more complex and more nuanced than that. One of the big trends right now is a skills gap. The skills gap is real. Certain industries like healthcare, tech and AI, energy, they're struggling to fill roles, while others, white collar, middle management, those are tightening up, and entry level roles as well. So there's this big shuffling that's happening. Some things are booming, some things are not, are expanding and contracting. It's just a continuous process. And I know that a lot of companies have been really cautious about hiring. Very selective hiring, marathon rounds of interviews, and then maybe they will or won't hire anybody. Everything is just really guarded and really cautious. And while the job market hasn't crashed, it's definitely been down in the dumps. And it's just been a really, really tough, I'm going to say 2 years, really. It has been. Because I remember in the middle of 2024 doing a show then in the summer about why the job market was so terrible and how to get through it, right? That was a year and a half ago. So this is not a new problem. So most forecasts suggest a moderate rebound in hiring, especially in industries tied to infrastructure, technology, and healthcare. And we're seeing continued demand for AI-related skills, and not just technical ones, but roles focused on integrating AI into the business strategy, ethics, all the different processes of the business. So many different implications for AI. And a lot of companies are also still rebalancing after some overhiring that happened in the pandemic as well. So this means a lot of corporate roles, administrative, marketing, recruiting, all of those could stay competitive into the next year. So I don't think 20 will be a big hiring boom, but I do think it's going to improve. And I do think it will bring opportunities for professionals who can adapt quickly, leverage AI, and use and show business impact. All right. So what does this mean for you personally? If you are job searching or thinking about making a move, here's the key. It's not about waiting for the perfect market. It's about positioning yourself for any market. That means updating your personal brand, learning new skills, knowing how to leverage AI in your current role and what it means for your industry, and even maybe even skipping over to another industry and aligning yourself with one that is growing. If you've been out of work or stuck in a long job search, don't assume that it's just you. Hiring cycles are taking longer across the board, but you may have to pivot and adapt. You might not get the job that you thought you were going to get or in the industry that you thought you were going to get. How can you adapt to what is happening? So, and for my 40 plus professionals, which is probably most of you, you got to show relevance. It's not about your tenure. Stop emphasizing your tenure. I love that you have 20 years of experience, but that isn't what's going to get you in the door. It's what have you learned? What can you do from those 20 years of experience? That needs to be on your resume and your LinkedIn. Highlight what you've learned and what you're capable of, not just how long you've been doing it. It's time to up-level your strategy. Let's talk about what you can actually do. Try to prepare for 2026. Because no matter what happens in the economy, your best strategy is to stay ready. So first, do a skills audit. Ask yourself, what are 2 or 3 skills that will really matter in your next role? For a lot of people, that's things like data literacy, leading remote hybrid teams, managing projects in complex or global environments. The point is to stay relevant, not just experienced. All right, next, update that personal brand. I know I sound like a broken record, you guys. All right. And that means your LinkedIn profile, that means your resume. Think about how you're positioning yourself for future readiness. What do you want employers to know about you or think or feel when they land on your profile or your resume? Are you conveying that? Emphasize the impact that you've made and what you've delivered and what problems you have solved. Most importantly, emphasize what you can bring forward to your next opportunity. And then here, I'm going to sound like a broken record again, you guys, but it's true. Network with purpose. Do not just scroll and comment just thinking that that's enough. Make real connections. Identify a few target industries that are growing or companies that are growing. And there's lots of compilation lists out there of top growing companies or startups, but target who it makes sense for you to target. Maybe an AI-driven government contractor, aerospace is growing, data analytics, all of these things. Reach out to several people every week to share insights, to meet them, hear what's going on, set up coffees, all the things that you need to do. Small, consistent outreach builds momentum over time. And keep an open mind about how you work. Full-time employment isn't the only way forward anymore. Fractional roles, advisory work, project-based consulting, those are all growing segments of the labor market, and they have been for a long time. Get creative. Just like I said, you might not get the role you want. It might not look like what you thought. You might need to take a consulting role, and that could be your saving grace. It could open the door to something more permanent. Flexibility can be a competitive advantage, especially in a slower market. And of course, don't ignore AI. You're more likely to lose a job to someone using AI than to AI itself. That is true. Learn how to use it faster, make better decisions, and deliver more value ultimately. That's how you future-proof your career. So will the job market improve in 2026? Probably, but I think gradually, slow and steady, not an overnight turnaround. The good news is that even in a cautious market, opportunities always exist for professionals who stay visible and proactive and flexible. If you want help building that strategy in 2026, we have the programs to do that. You've got all the archives of this show. You have our one-on-one coaching sessions, resumes, whatever help you need. You do not have to navigate this difficult market alone. You can go to careeruprising.com, book a call, learn about what we do. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And I have one more very, very special and significant episode coming for you after this. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time. Hey, it's Lorraine, and I want to say thanks for listening. If you found value in today's show, I would be honored to have your review on Apple Podcasts. It's the single best way to help this show be found by other listeners, and you'll earn some good karma. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you next time on Career Uprising.